Hey, good evening, fam. Good evening. Waiting on you guys to get on up in here. Waiting on you guys to get on up in here. This is gonna be a nice one today. And listen, I want to get you guys' thought on this topic for today. To be honest with you, right? Because I want to know what you guys think about the topic. Um, because when people when people hear a statement like Odell Beckham made, it kind of makes some people cringe a little bit, right? So what I want to do is break down what I believe he meant, um, and also kind of go over some options that some of these athletes I don't believe is offered to them, right? It's a lot of these athletes I believe get the wrong information, and I think because to me, to be honest with you, most of these athletes, the money they get is generational wealth, and there's no reason why any athlete should ever go broke. Not only they shouldn't go broke, their family. There's no reason in the world their family should ever run out of money, ever. I'm talking about the amount of money, especially these athletes of today, the amount of money that they make. There's no reason why it shouldn't last 2 or 3 generations, especially if it's been um positioned properly, right? So let me get into it, right? So today we're gonna have a conversation about why Odell Beckham Jr., right, just shocked the internet when he said he can't live on $100 million. The man said he cannot live on $100 million. And listen, I'm laughing, but listen, before we all laugh, right? I want you to stay with me because the reason he's saying that is the same reason so many professional athletes actually end up going broke after they're done playing, after the lights turn off, right? Tonight we're gonna go over what people don't understand about a $100 million contract. How fast money disappears when income is short lived, right? And the most common athlete spending traps. And also the exact system to make athletes money last for generations using strategies, discipline, and protection. Using, and yes, I am an insurance agent and I believe in this IUL. I personally believe that if all athletes were sat down in a room when they signed their contract and they sit down with an agent such as myself to put them into these IULs, they would never run out of money. They would never run out of money, right? I want you to type in the chat or in the comment, right? If you've ever thought $100 million is automatic generational wealth. So in your mind, if you say, man, if I get $100 million, I'm set, my family's set. I want you to type in the chat. Have you ever thought that? Right? Because listen, we've heard of people winning the lottery and 5 years later go broke. And most of us will sit here and say, man, if I won this, if I won that, I'll be straight. As a matter of fact, I'll dumb it down. If you're on this chat right now and you went from making 50 grand in your life at one point and saying to yourself, man, if I ever make $100,000 a year, life will be gravy. And you find out that it's not as simple as it sounds. I want you to type in the chat 6 figures. I want you to type in the chat 6 figures because let me tell you, I was an individual who said to myself, man, once I hit 100 grand, oh my God, life will be set. Everything will be gravy, right? That's what I said. Listen, as you guys are watching this live right now, I want you to invite people to get on this live because this is not only about athletes, but this is about everyday people and their financial trap that we all put ourselves into. Right? I want you to invite people on this live right now because you're going to learn some stuff today that's going to shock you. Again, I went from making 50 grand a year, 80 grand a year, 100 grand a year, 150 a year, 200 grand a year, 250 a year, upwards, right? And I always say this, like America is the greatest country in the world. But you can easily fall into a financial trap when you're making good. As a matter of fact, I personally believe people who are high earners actually get into more and deeper financial problems than people who don't have money. And I hate to say this, it's almost like you're safer. It sounds horrible what I'm about to say, and I hope nobody aim for this. That's not what you aim for, but it almost feels like you're safer making less money than you are making good money, right? Most people hear 100 million and think private jets forever, right? But in reality, that number is gross, not net. That's number one. So whenever we hear an athlete like Odell Beckham Jr. say something like that, we immediately say, what's this guy talking about? He can't live off of 100 million? But that's not all his. You got to factor in taxes. Okay? And don't let him play somewhere out in California somewhere. Taxes over there is ridiculous. Right? 100 million. And here is what hits first. Taxes. Federal, state, and local depend on where you play. So tonight, I want to break down what he meant because a lot of people thought he's wilding. A lot of people thought he's crazy for the things that he said. Okay? Taxes is number one. Number two is agent fees because a lot of them have agents. Okay? Then you have the financial advisors and management fees. And I personally believe that those are the people who actually end up robbing these athletes in the middle of the night. There is story for days of athletes getting robbed by these financial advisors who are managing their money. Not all of them, but you got to watch them very carefully. Okay? You might have to hire an advisor to watch that advisor, to watch that advisor, to watch that advisor. right? These are what these guys go through. Then the lifestyle inflation. The bigger the contract, the bigger the spending, which is the same with everybody else. Is the same with every normal person. So if you take the athletes away and you implement a normal person, that once they get that big promotion, they go from making 50, 60 to 100, 120, 150. They instantly increase their spending. When they were making 50, 60, they were okay with potentially living in a 3 bedroom, 1,400 square feet house. There was nothing wrong with that when they were making 50, 60 a year. But now once they get to making 100, 150, 200, now they want the 6 bedroom house, 4,000 square feet, big old backyard. So this don't only apply to athletes. This apply to everybody in America. Then you have the family support. Multiple households sometimes with these athletes. You got your wife and your kids. Then you might have how do I want to say this? The previous life, the baby mamas, right? The baby mamas, all of that. Okay. You got your immediate family. You got your parents that you want to take care of. Siblings might need your help. Cousins from out of nowhere with their hands out. Right? I hope you guys are taking notes of these lists of things. Because again, outside of agent fees, everything else a regular person kind of go through. Everything else a regular person kind of go through. Then you have the entourage cost. All your boys, your crew, you hire them and give them some form of position. Okay? You help support them. You buy them cars. You help with the down payment for their homes. You all go to the club. You splurging on them. You buying drinks. You buying tables. You buying bottles. Right? Then you have the bad business deals. People coming up to you, oh, I got this deal for you. I got this business you should look into. And some of them being nice and want to be supportive, right? They get into them. You've heard stories for days. Basketball player, I believe Anton Walker, had all these real estate deals that flopped. You had the one who opened restaurants that flopped, right? You had the Bitcoin thing with a bunch of these athletes. All these things that they go through, okay? Then I think the killer of them all, divorces and child support. Divorces will rob you of majority of your money. And child support is literally next in line with taxes. And then last but not least, if your career length is shortened due to a injury, I mean the average pro athlete's top earning window is not very long. I believe football is usually about 5 years, I believe. Basketball might be a little bit longer. But football, 3 to 5 years, most people are no longer in the league anymore. It's done. unless you're just like one of those great players, right? And the part nobody tells you, when your income has an expiration date, you're not rich, you're on the clock. I'm gonna tell you that one more time. When your income have an expiration date, you are not rich, you are on the clock. And that's 90% of these athletes. Okay? Athletes going broke, even in this era that we're in, with all the stories that we've heard from other athletes in the past. Athletes are still going broke, especially like the way they pay these athletes now. They make so much money, and I know in their mind they're thinking the money will last because they make so much money. But just as fast as they make it is as fast as it goes out. And it's the same thing with us regular people. When we start to make good money, we start to spend like there's no tomorrow, right? Let me give you the uncomfortable truth with these numbers, right? Um, a widely cited Sports Illustrated report estimate 78% of former NFL players face bankruptcy or financial stress within 2 years of retirement. Let me repeat this to you guys one more time, so you guys really understand what Odell Beckham Jr. was saying. 78% of former NFL players face bankruptcy or financial stress within 2 years of retirement. 60% of former NBA players are broke within 5 years of retirement. 60%, 60, are broke within 5 years. That's wild stuff. That's crazy. This is crazy. Now let's add a more academic measurement, for example. Okay, just to keep it simple, right? Actual bankruptcy filing, right? A research paper, right, found about 15.7% file for bankruptcy within 12 years of retirement. So you have those in the first 5 years of retirement, okay? 60 to 70% of them file for bankruptcy. Then you have the other bunch within 12 years of retirement, 15.7% of them file for bankruptcy. And they played in the league. They are getting life-changing money. And they file for bankruptcy. I want you guys to think about that for a second. Finance is important. And you got to get the right education and be around the right people to guide you. And you also have to learn to say no. I know most people generally are nice and caring and want to help. Most people are usually nice, caring, and want to help. And most people don't know how to say no. Especially when you're making good money. If your family know you're making good money, it seems like you're the one they come to every single time something goes wrong. And you feel bad saying no. Right? If and for some of y'all who are watching who are foreign like me, sometimes you're not even allowed to say no. You can't say no to your parents. It's almost like unheard of. what I want to go over real quickly with you guys is why this happens to athletes. We're gonna go over, and I believe this relate to everybody on this live right now. Because if you live in the United States of America, there's always this really, in a way, you can't escape this unless you find a way to remove yourself and become ultra disciplined. America puts you in a position to make great money, but it also puts you in a position where you can financially bankrupt yourself too. Chad, forever dollar is money that outlasts you. Absolutely. The actually amount doesn't matter if you only live behind on. That's a fact. That's a fact. We're gonna go over some stuff today. And if you're watching this and you know a athlete right now, okay, right now, can't name the gentleman's name, but he's in college right now playing for a top ranked school. And we've presented to him already. We got his mind already in that process. So hopefully once he goes in the league, it goes with us. And we get him straight. And hopefully from there we can get in the door and talk to some of these young guys. Because a lot of it is the fact that they're not in front of the right people. They're in front of people who just want their money. And these kids been playing ball since they were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And there has to be a way to protect them. Right? Let's talk habits, because money doesn't disappear. It just gets allocated. Number one is the lifestyle inflation becomes a lifestyle lock-in. What does that mean? Okay, now you're making good money. Now you want to increase your lifestyle dramatically at that, especially with these athletes, right? Big houses, big cars, big monthly like car notes, and just everything. Okay? The I'm the bank syndrome. A lot of people don't think of this. And what that means is everybody bill become yours. You for some reason feel as though like you're responsible for everybody's bills. A lot of these athletes are generally nice people that want to help their mama, their daddy, their sister, their brothers, their cousins, their friends. Everybody bills now becomes their bills. Again, the entourage payroll. You got your security. You got your friends. You got your assistant. You got your trainers. Okay. Some necessary, some are not. Security, you probably need that as an athlete. Okay. Your friends is not your responsibility to take care of your friends. You can help every once in a while, but it ain't your responsibility to handle their bills. Okay, you probably gonna need an assistant. You definitely gonna need a trainer, right? But in most cases, this become a permanent overhead for them for these people, because once they start, they don't know how to say no. Listen, I wanted to give you guys a breakdown as to what Odell Beckham was really talking about, because everybody, when they heard it, they're like, man, this guy's wild. This guy's crazy. Heck, he made $100 million is not forever money. This is what he means. Okay? Bad investments and fast talkers. Athletes are targeted from the day, from college. Okay? They haven't even signed a deal yet. But once they know you're about to go in the league, they start targeting you right away. A lot of these athletes don't have any system. They only have an income. Which means if you don't have like automation for your budgeting and guardrails against you overspending, you're gonna be leaking money. You're going to be leaking money. And then you have the scenario of a short career and a long life. If you blow a kneecap in the NBA, it's usually career ending. If you pull a hamstring, you tear an Achilles, these are usually things that most athletes, not all, but most athletes do not recover from. You might earn millions from age 21 to age 31, but you might live to 85. And if your money is not invested properly, if you're not budgeting properly, you will be in that category of the people who are filing bankruptcy, even though they've made money that most people will never see in 3 lifetime, 4 lifetime, 5 lifetime, right? The next one is ego spending and social media pressure, right? There's one social media platform that I get on and I jump off right away. I get on there and I jump off right away because that platform will make you feel like you ain't doing nothing with your life. That platform will have you questioning your life. And that's IG. IG will have you questioning your life, right? Listen, especially when you're famous, right? When you're famous, people expect you to look rich. So you spend to keep up the image. And that's not even just famous people. That's everyday people. If you are the one in your circle, if you are the one in your family who's doing well, it's almost something in your brain is telling you that you have to keep it up. You can't go outside any other way, right? It's what's called ego spending. Let me ask you a question. You guys comment. If you've ever seen someone making a lot of money but still living paycheck to paycheck, I want you to type system. If you know someone who's making extremely good money, but they're living paycheck to, I know insurance agents who are making $500,000 a year, but they can't wait until the next commission come in because they got bills to pay. Right? If you've ever seen someone or know someone making a lot of money but still living check to check, I want you to type in the comment system. Hey, I want to take a minute, right? To just, if this is your first time running across my channel, right? My name is Maxwell Akinsenwa, and I've been in the financial service industry for about 18 years now. And my main niche is helping people retire tax-free. My main niche is helping you plan for the future, right? And keeping more of your money with you instead of the IRS, right? And if you're getting value out of what you're hearing today, I want you to um, subscribe or follow me, and I want you to um, like, thumbs up if you're getting value from what you're hearing today, because it actually helps the algorithm push this information out to people, right? And I want you to share this with somebody, because right now in America, the average retirement savings plan value is $187,000. That literally means we are in trouble. Nobody is retiring with $187,000. A lot of it has to do with our spending habits. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we're not disciplined anymore. This is the microwave generation. We want it right now. We want it. The reason why the baby boomers control most of the money in America, the reason why the baby boomers have the heftiest 401ks and IRA is they had a discipline about themselves. But most of us, if you are under 50, under 45, most of us live in the social media era. And again, social media will have you questioning yourself, because you see people who are living a life. You get on social media, somebody you know is in a bathing suit on a yacht somewhere. And you start to say, what am I doing with my life? Listen, let me tell you, I sat down with a client 3 months ago. She literally took out 10 grand and traveled, I forgot how many European countries for 1 month. And I asked her, why did she do that? She said, oh, all I do is work, work, work. And I get on social media and these people are living their life. And I just don't want to live that way. I want to enjoy like everybody else too. And I had to tell her, some of these people don't have any money. It's all fake. But now they've made you cash out your savings to pretend like you're living well. You're taking pictures in Rome, Italy, Greece, and you're posting it like you're wealthy and like you're living well. Social media will have you questioning yourself. And you have to be disciplined enough to say, hey, this is my game plan. I'm not going to deviate from this game plan no matter what. Am I saying don't treat yourself? Absolutely not. But you also got to be real with yourself and say, hey, I'm whatever age I am, 45, 50 years old. I have this amount of money for my long-term savings. Am I on pace? Do I need this thing I'm trying to do right now? Do I gotta spend 10 G's on traveling? Do I gotta buy that Louis bag? Is that important right now? It's questions that we have to ask ourselves. This is the reason why the average retirement statement balance in America right now is $187,000. And I personally don't even think that I don't think that dollar amount is accurate. Because if you remove the $1 million earners, because they also contribute to 401ks and they contribute heavily. You understand? They're maxing out. If you remove the multi six figures from that number, I personally believe the actual true number is probably $68,000-$70,000 at best. Because the reason why that number is so inflated is because you got 7-figure earners contributed into that bucket. You got $500,000 earner contribute into that bucket. So a lot of the reason why the statement balance is so low is because a lot of people want to live this grand lifestyle like they're wealthy. They want to be rock stars. Right? I want to take a moment to share that with you guys. So you guys have a so when Odell Beckham said what he said, it's not only for athletes or these top earners. This can relate to everyday people too. These are things that everyday people go through. Is just on a smaller level for everyday people. Let me give you a framework, the Forever Money framework. Okay? It's called SPLIT. SPLIT, split. The S stands for set your burn number. Your monthly lifestyle costs, housings, cars, staff, if you have one, travel, taxes, everything, no guessing. I have a spreadsheet. I had to do a spreadsheet because I'm exactly who Odell Beckham is talking about. I went from making low income to a ridiculous amount of money. And I would just swipe without even looking at the price tag. I was making 50 grand at one point. I would go to the grocery store with a list and my calculator in my pocket. So I got my list and I got my calculator in my pocket. So as I'm putting stuff in the basket, I'm adding it up to make sure I don't go over my budget. Then I went to making good money. I no longer do a list. I no longer do a calculator. I just put stuff in the cart and wait to get to the line. Just swipe. Once everything is done, I don't even look at the thing. I just put the card in. And this is where we go wrong. The P stands for protect the base. Before you invest, protect. If your income stops, what happens? So a lot of people want to invest first. You want to invest first. That's not how this works. You got to protect the basis first, the foundation. And I'm going to go over what that means. Then you want to get rid of debt. Once you do that, then you start to invest. And when I say invest, I mean things like, let's say you want to buy some stocks. Let's say you want to buy a business. Let's say, that's what I mean when I say invest. Right? The L stands for lock in future income. You need retirement income that doesn't depend on on you being in the league. So again, as you're watching this, if you know any athlete, whether they're in college, they don't have to be in the league right now, because the purpose of it is you educate them now, so when they go in the league, they know what they're doing. So if you know any athletes who's in college right now, or who has potential of being drafted, if you know an athlete who is in the league, okay, invite them to this live, or once it's over, share the live with them. There's no reason any athlete, I don't care if you on the bench or if you're a starter, doesn't matter. There's no reason why you should ever go broke after you're done playing the league, because they're paying you crazy amount of money, right? The I stands for insulate from yourself. You are your biggest problem. Sometimes you got to have multiple accounts. This is the household bank account here that covers household stuff. This is my spending money account here. Once I run out of this money, I can't do nothing for the month. You understand? This is my emergency fund money here. This doesn't get touched unless there's a emergency, like a real emergency. You understand? And the T stands for transfer wealth intentionally, trust plannings, beneficiaries, legacy planning, and tax aware strategies. If you're watching this, I need you to write this down, or you may have to go back and watch this again. Okay? The Forever Money Framework. Okay? Acronym SPLIT. SPLIT. The S stands for set your burn number. The P stands for protect the base. The L stands for lock in future income. The I stands for insulate from yourself. Pretty much meaning save yourself from yourself. The T stands for transfer wealth intentionally. Right? Hey, again, guys, if you're watching this, let me know where you're from. What city and state are you watching from? What city and state are you watching from? Let me know. Now, a lot of the, how can I put this? Let me say this. Let me tell you where I come in as a insurance professional. Because a lot of these athletes, they have what's called financial advisors or money managers. And in most cases, not all, most of the places that they have them invest their money are usually risky investments. Right? There's an athlete, I'm not going to name their name, played years ago football. An insurance agent sat down with this athlete. He's well known too. He said, hey, take a portion of what you're making and put it into this whole life insurance policy. Do this every month, every year until you're done playing. And I guarantee you, when you're done playing, you'll be set for life. Years later, this athlete got into legal problems. They took everything from the athlete for civil suit, but they couldn't touch his life insurance. And this guy is drawing over 200 grand a year from that policy after legal suit, right? Okay. Because athletes don't just need motivation, a lot of them need structure. They used to being told what to do, they used to being directed. They need structure, but proper structure. Here's what I provide that most athletes don't have: a plan that survives injuries, trades, retirement, and market downturn. The most crippling things to athletes. What I provide as an insurance agent work to athletes, but also everyday people, right? Is a plan that can survive any injury. Everyday people have job injuries too. They have, personal injuries. They out riding their bike, injure themselves. I provide service for all that. Okay. Trades, losing their job, okay, retirement, and the downturn of the market. A strategy for income replacement, right? A strategy for tax advantage accumulation, a strategy for legacy transfer. Because most of these athletes, again, when they done playing and they pass away, they leave their family nothing after making millions. It's the same thing with everyday people who make I like the glasses. Thank you. Who makes 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year. I I just got referred a lady a month and a half ago, right? They live out here in Maryland. Actually, they live in Fort Washington, Maryland. The husband was a big time real estate guy. He had a massive agency in Maryland for a big time real estate company. The man died at the age of 68, I believe, and he had no life insurance. He had no savings. Their house still had a mortgage on it. And he left behind a wife who was the one I was referred to because the wife also didn't have any life insurance. I'm sitting down with the wife, having a conversation with her. She couldn't even get through the appointment. She was crying all the way through the appointment because she's terrified. She's now saying that she may have to file for bankruptcy. She's definitely going to have to let the house go because she can't afford it. And this is a gentleman who's made a crap load of money for years. I'll say this clearly. A lot of athletes don't need more money. A lot of it is the fact they just need more control. I believe it was an athlete, the NBA player, who they said, and, and they saw one of the receipt that he spent at the club for one night, right? 4-hour deal for one night, okay, over 200 grand. So when you wonder why 5 years after retirement they're filing for bankruptcy, it's activities like that. How do you spend $200,000 for one night? Nothing in your spirit is telling you this is wrong. Listen, again, if you're watching this and you're an athlete, or coach, or trainer, or you're connected to an athlete, or you're a coach, or again, if you know any athlete, I want you to type in the comment playbook. This whole live today was based on what Odell Beckham Jr. said. That's driving the internet crazy. Everybody have their comments to say about it. It's just like people have things to say about people who make six figures, and they tell you, oh, I don't know how you can live well with six figures. If you've never made it, then you wouldn't understand. The reason why you make more money is to do better for your family. But sometimes people who make six figures, just like athletes, they tend to go overboard. They start to live a life bigger than their pocket can withstand. They want to help everybody. So a lot of my lives that I do, a lot of my videos are based on educating and doing better because I come from experience. Right? I come from making a certain amount to now making this huge amount. I've seen myself moving in the same way that some of these athletes were moving, just spending, just swiping, thinking money is falling from the sky, right? Thinking it's gonna last forever. You make good money, you throw your budget out the window. If you're watching this, I want you to again, if you know any athletes or anybody who's making good money, I want you to ask them to join on this live because now I'm about to go into a simple playbook that will allow an athlete to never go broke, and also a regular individual, which means non-athlete, regular civilians, he'll say regular people, this playbook will work for you also. And that playbook is what's called a index universal life insurance policy. And when this is structured properly, a IUL or index universal life property can be used for permanent life insurance protection, tax-free cash accumulation, okay, potential to also access the cash value through policy loans and withdrawal during retirement, and just creating a pool of money that can supplement your retirement planning. tax-free, right? And here's the deal. Most athletes like this concept because a lot of them, they want flexibility and this allow you to have that. Okay. They also want protection, like a career risk. That's a real thing. Injury is a real thing. Okay. Bad business investment, it's a real thing. And they often want a strategy that's not complex, that they can understand. And that's life insurance. It's real simple to understand. This is not stocks, this mutual fund here, this stock there. No, it's simple and easy to understand. Okay. And most of them, the reason why they spend so much on their family and their loved one is because they love them. Listen, I don't even call life insurance anymore. I call it love insurance. I call it love insurance. It's a policy that you get because you love somebody so much. You want to make sure that even when you're not here, they're well taken care of. It's also a policy that you get because you love yourself. That God forbid you get injured or something, you got money to take care of you. I call it love insurance. Life insurance is never about being fancy. It's not nothing fancy about it. It's as simple and non-complex as you can get. And this is about building a system where your money can outlive your career or even you. Right? Listen, as I'm wrapping up this live, I want to go over some example, right, as to how this plan will work for a person like Odell Beckham. Because it was very interesting as he said it, and the whole internet was going crazy about it. I was like, you know what? Let me just see something. Okay? Because his contract was for 100 million. Right? Obviously, we know 40 million of that is going towards taxes. Right? 40 million of that will be going towards taxes, which leaves them with $60 million. So what I did was, okay, no problem. I know he's still a young gentleman. I know he's going to want to live his life and enjoy his life, right? So I thought about a couple of things. How, and again, if you know any Odell Beckhams, if you know anybody in the league, right, I want you to have them join this live right now. Because I'm about to go over a powerful system for you guys that will help these athletes never go broke ever again in life. If you yourself are also a high earner, this is a way to never ever go broke during retirement, and you're going to transfer so much money to your family when you pass away using the IUL, the Index Universal Life, right? And what I did was, because of who he is, right? I said, okay, you know what? Let me see. I ran this guy a $30 million life insurance policy. Because in my mind, I want to make sure when he's gone, age 85, 90, whatever age God choose to bring him back home, his children, his children's children, and his children's children will be okay. This is the same system the Rockefeller used that allowed them to be the Rockefeller that we know today. This is nothing new. This is how the wealthy has been doing it for a long time. So I ran him a $30 million IUL. You guys are about to be rocked out of your mind as to how this will end up creating him more money than he's ever made playing football. Right? $30 million IUL. After taxes, he takes home 60 million because he makes 100. His contract is for 100 million. He paid 40 million in taxes. He goes home with $60 million. Okay, all he got to do is do away with $822,000 a year. That's less than $1 million. He contributed that for 7 years only. So and again, I don't know how old Odell Beckham is. I didn't look that up, but I ran this based on a athlete who just got in the league, 25-year-old, right? And he signed his contract. And before he goes spending on anything wild, hey, let me show you this, how you can be set for life. And all you gotta do this is for 7 years straight, and you never have to put any more money in again. So they do that for 7 years. This athlete would have put in a total of $5.7 million is how much they contributed. If you take 822,951 times 7, it comes out to 5,760,000,000 and some change. Right? Now, what I want to do is look at the long picture. I want to look, okay, you know what? He's because remember, once he's done playing, he's still going to get the NFL pension. He might have shoe deals. So all that money is still going to be coming in for him. So what he's doing is putting this money in here to grow and to simmer. So that way, once he gets older, it can now start to pull out additional money from here, tax-free. So now we're going to take it all the way to the age of, let's use 55. Let's say, okay, you know what, I'm 55 years old now. I now want to start pulling money from here to live off of. Now, remember, the total contribution was 5.7 million. Now, by the time he's 55, it's $24 million in there. And all he did was invested 5.7 million. Right? He can actually withdraw roughly about $1 million a year. And this policy will last him all the way till he passed away. Here's the kicker. If this gentleman passed away, let's say at the age of 85, because of the cash value buildup, his family still get a check for $120 million. Mind you, he's been withdrawing 1 million every single year from the age of 55 to 85. His initial policy was 30 million. If you're watching this again and you know of any athlete or you know of any high earner, and I mean high earner, which means anybody who's making 100 grand a year plus, okay? Even, let me not even say that. Anybody who's willing to put together a plan that will safeguard their retirement and they know they can be disciplined with it, this is for you. It will kill two birds. It will kill multiple birds, actually. One, God forbid you pass away, your wife, your husband, your children, they're okay. Even some people have parents that they take care of. A lot of people don't consider the fact that, man, the reason why I carry so much life insurance is my mother depends on me. I got kids also. If I go away, who's going to take care of these people? So a lot of people don't factor the fact that I take care of mom, I take care of dad. They're gonna factor they're gonna factor their life insurance that they're getting into that. If something happens to you, who's gonna take care of mom and dad? Who's gonna take care of your kids? That's one. Secondly, God blesses you with a long life. Who's gonna take care of you? So your retirement, that's why you save for retirement. So when you get older, you have income to draw from. So that way you're not dependent on another human being to take care of you. That's why you have retirement savings. That's what it's for. And number three, God forbid, you fall sick, you fall ill, you're injured, and you need long-term care, assisted living, or nurse aid, whatever. This policy covers all those things. This policy covers all those things. So, and I believe without a shadow of a doubt that they're not offering these athletes this plan. Because if they were, they would never go broke. I'm sorry. I can't see how. I can't see how. If they were offering them these type of plan, when the athletes pass away, the family won't be struggling to figure out how to pay for funerals. When a person play in the league and you can't pay for a funeral, there is no way in my mind that I can believe that they're offering these athletes these plans. And this is why I say their financial advisor is probably one of their main problems that they're having. Because guess what? A financial advisor managing your money, they make more money. If they're managing millions of dollars at 1%, they're making a killing. They're making more than they will ever make selling the athlete on buying life insurance. Okay? Okay, the life insurance is a one-time deal, one-time commission payment you get. But if they're managing your money, it's continuous payment. That's why they rarely ever direct the athletes towards these plans, which explains the reason why most of them go broke. Especially when some of the plans that they offer them are like risky investment that's tied to the market. Right? Listen, let me close with this. Odell Beckham Jr. didn't say 100 million isn't a lot. He said it's not automatically forever money. And he's right. Once you break down the lifestyle, expenses, people you're responsible for, entourage, everything. When you break it down in that world, because us in this normal world, in our mind, we say, oh my God, that's a lot of money, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. But when you in that world and you have so much responsibility or image you got to keep up, yes, I can understand why he said what he said. And that's the lesson. Money without a system is always going to be temporary money. And money with a system becomes a generational money. If you are an athlete and you're watching this, or you're a top earner, or you have, let me just say, athlete money, whether by way of businesses that you run, who knows, right? Whether through an inheritance, right? And you want a real plan to stop the lifestyle creep, to protect your family, to build tax um, wealth strategies, and create income that will last, let me give you my number, direct number, and I want you to text me forever. I want you to text the word forever, right? And I'll reach out to you because that tells me that you're interested in learning how to make your money last for you forever so you're well provided for without having to be dependent on somebody. And then your money now transfer to your children and your children's children. You can text me at 443-208-5480. That's 443-208-5480. Just text me forever in all caps so I know you're serious, right? And or you can email me at evolve@titanevolutiongroup.com. Hey, listen, I thank you guys for getting on my live this evening. I hope this was worth your time. And again, if you know of any athlete, I want you to share this live with them. Listen, you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of your evening. Talk to y'all soon.